All right, guys, what up, and welcome to the Flopbuster Movie Show Live with your hosts Tony and Gabe. We're just missing Victoria, who will join us the following Thursday. She'll be back on a regular Thursday show from now on. Gabe, how you doing today?
Good, man. How you doing? How was your vacation?
It was pretty great. Had a lot of fun. You had a big thing this week. You have a new grandchild.
Yes, I do.
So congratulations on that. I hope everybody in the comments wish Gabe congratulations. That's a big thing right there. That's bigger than the vacation. That's what we should be talking about. Gabe just turned 67. So
I did.
How you been, man? You seen anything new lately? Any of the new releases?
I Orphan first kill. I saw it this morning, at like 5:30 in the morning. I woke up for it. It was good. And we'll get back into it, later on in the show. But yeah, I had a good time with it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Orphan at the end, and then for those of you that don't watch the video for whatever reason, I'll have a separate video. We'll cut it out and we'll post that separately as well. There's a lot to talk about in the world of movie news. I was gone for a week. We were going to wait and do the Tuesday show, but me and Gabe decided let's just do a Saturday show. I mean,
Yeah,
it makes
why not?
sense. We're available. Let's make it happen.
We're boring people at this stage in our lives where we have Saturday nights available at 9 o'clock. We're not doing anything.
I don't do anything. I sit at home and watch movies. I have nothing going on. It's very sad. What's up, Cody? How's it going? And we got the Strange Monkey in here too. Gabe, let's get this started. We'll start off with the box office breakdown. Now, this is going to be from last weekend. I'm going to wait for the official numbers from this weekend to appear on Thursday's show. So let's break down last weekend. What do we got here? So we got Bullet Train holding up to that number one spot. Took a bit of a dip, but I know this weekend's numbers as well. It's doing pretty strong in its third weekend. So kind of a big drop in its second weekend, but the third weekend's holding strong. And then Top Gun was able to reclaim that second spot, which is crazy. It's about to be on digital, I think, this week. So it's wild that Paramount is keeping this in theaters. It's doing well enough. So why pull the plug on a moneymaker? And then we have Super Pets hanging on to that number 3 spot. It's taking some dips, but with how slow it is, it's sticking around. And then we have Thor and Nope at the number 4 and 5 spot, coming in making around the same amount. So a bit of a quiet weekend for last weekend's box office. And I know we have Beast coming out, and we also have the Dragon Ball movie, which is cleaning up, and we'll talk about it once we get to next week. What do you think of the box office of the weekend of the 12th?
I think we're at a point at the box office where it's just a lot of holdovers. Just besides bodies that came out last weekend as well. It's just a bunch of holdovers. Nothing really. It's post-pandemic box office for August, right? I think Maverick being number 2, and then they like sort of re-released during the release because they had like a special thank you for fans with a new movie print and all these other things. Right. So it was no surprise it went back up to number 2. I think the most surprising thing for me on there is Thor. For when we saw it, everybody talked about how much they hated it or how it wasn't good as Ragnarok.
Right.
What have you. It's stuck around. It's made its money. And then we're talking about it hasn't, there's no China release, there's no Russia release, and it's up there. It's made more money than Ragnarok. And as far as people say, oh, I don't like it or I got superhero fatigue, well, here you go. Thor's still sticking around.
It's sticking around. It's cleaning up in North America. And I think that Marvel is looking at those numbers, and they're probably very happy about that. It's beaten Ragnarok significantly on the domestic side. So not having the China release or the Russia release, bit of a downside, but I'm pretty sure they'll live with it with all things considered, the pandemic and not having those as well. Man, I kind of forgot that movie is still in theaters. Not totally memorable, but I did not dislike it like most people did. So
no.
Let's get down to the main order of business. It's our first topic of the day. Wednesday. We've mentioned this from time to time.
No, today's Saturday.
Wow, yeah. Ha ha. Wednesday, we got some pictures, and then we had a trailer debut. for Wednesday, and that's the new Netflix series spinoff of the Addams Family. Tim Burton directs half the episodes. Jenna Ortega, Luis Guzman, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and a couple of unknowns in there. We do not know who's playing Uncle Fester. That's not been revealed. Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones is also in this.
As
So
Lurch.
as Lurch, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know who she's playing, but Gabe, what did you think of this first look trailer we got?
I liked it. I think I told you, and I know it's so far off base, and people are gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But it reminds me a little bit of the Chilling Tales of Sabrina, only by the fact that she's going to a high school, private school, and it's gonna be based in a school sense. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing, and nothing else like that.
No, I totally said the same thing. It reminds me a lot of that.
And but other than that, I think Luis Guzman, I had my reservations about him, as you know, because I was like, ain't nobody gonna believe Luis Guzman could pull a Catherine Zeta-Jones, but I think they look great. Both of them. I don't mind. You know, a lot of people talk about his hair. It's like, yeah, it's just hair. A lot of people talk about, like we said, his looks. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's no, Raul Julia, but he does look accurate to comic book descriptions. So I mean, I can't hate on it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that aren't on board with Luis yet, they got to take a look at the original drawings because Gomez is significantly shorter than Morticia. He's got the hair parted at the middle. So it is going for more of a look that is very much based in the comic strip. So
Yeah.
they got that going on. I love Luis Guzman. I mean, we talk about Carlito's Way. I mean, he's been
Oh
in so
God.
many different things, and he's just a great character actor.
He is. He's great. I'm glad that they're giving him a lead. On my like, I don't know if you guys ever seen Shameless, but he was amazing as William H. Macy's counterpart when they were both homeless. Luis Guzman just killed it in Shameless. He basically kills it in a lot of the roles that he does. Like you said, he's a great character actor, and he's funny. He's like he could be like that creepy uncle, funny guy. So I could see why they casted him as like suave, Latino man. I'm in for it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Catherine Zeta-Jones, that kind of seems like a no-brainer. This is an older Morticia and Gomez, and it seems like, I don't know, in those friends, perfect casting. There is a rumor. I was going to put this in the rumor mill, but I decided not to because this person is a hot topic. Either love him or hate him at this point in time.
You hate him right now.
I don't know how I feel, but I don't know how I feel because I think once you say whether you're okay with this casting, people assume what you thought of something that was significant in the news earlier in the summer, and that's Johnny Depp as Uncle Fester. This is coming from the internet. A couple of sources are claiming it's true.
Right.
But for the most part, there's nothing confirmed. Nobody knows, but we do know the producers have said they are keeping the casting of Uncle Fester a secret.
They are. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. And I know I just had that pause, but it's hard to talk about him as a like I am a fan, right?
Yeah, it's hard.
And it's hard to say, but it's legit. I don't know. Even ideally, you have Tim Burton, and they've collaborated on what, like 8-11 films throughout their.
I mean, Ed Wood, Corpse Bride, Sleep, like everything.
Everything. So for him not to be in a Tim Burton movie, produced whatever, I think the last thing that they did was Alice and Through the Looking Glass.
Alice Through the Looking Glass, which I don't think Tim did. I think he produced it.
Oh, so maybe Alice in Wonderland, like the first one.
Yeah.
So it's been like 12 years since they worked together. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, rumors have it that Tim fought for him. I don't know. I want to wait till I see a source that I know, and I don't think we're gonna get that until the show comes out. And I have a feeling it's not him. I think he's too much of a risk. I don't know what studio at this moment wants to touch him. I know he's gonna have a supporting role in something soon, but I don't think it's gonna be something that big. Especially when this is the big push for Jenna Ortega, right? This is her leading show. Should be a big hit for Netflix. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could have. recorded everything or acted everything out the year before the trial. So I mean, yeah, he still would have been a hot topic. But
I mean, let's
I
not
don't
forget, man. I mean, regardless of what you think of the guy aside, we know he's one of the greatest actors of the past 20 odd years, some odd years. He's incredibly difficult to work with. Disney hated working with him. Directors did not like working with him. There's a reason why he was falling off before that trial even happened. That trial didn't need to happen to put Johnny Depp in a bad light.
right.
People already did not want to work with him. And does he need, again, it's who knows, but I think the show looks fantastic. Real quick, I want to address Julian's comment because he mentioned Christina Ricci, who is the best.
Right. She's awesome.
The best. She is in the show.
Yeah, she is. She confirmed. It's been confirmed. Yeah. She's going to be in a show in some capacity.
Yeah, I'm not sure as who, but she's in it. You got to put her in it. She made the role iconic.
You know what? What if they brought back Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester?
I would be so happy. You know what? Because
he was great.
He was great, and he was so different than Jackie Coogan because Jackie Coogan played it differently. But in the movies, they're brothers. So I wonder if they're going to go with that approach that Fester and Gomez are brothers in this iteration. I like that way more than him just being the great uncle. I think that works better. And if it's Christopher Lloyd, he still does a bunch of character work. He still is in movies. He loves doing movies, and he loves that character. I would love that.
As long as they bring back that light bulb in the mouth scene.
Yeah, there was another person that I think would be great. I mean, I know the guy said he retired from acting, Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey could play a great Uncle Fester. I would love that. I think that could be pretty cool. Whoever it is, it's going to be somebody under a shit ton of makeup.
Yeah.
Light bulb in their mouth. So I'm in for it. This does look like a darker iteration, but still comedic. It still have that macabre humor that Adams are known for.
Right.
But that I was kind of shocked by how bloody the piranha bit at the beginning was of that trailer. That they actually show blood, and she mentions.
And now she was kicked out of school. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna just kick you out of school.
Yeah, which I wonder why they wouldn't just put her in this like creepy academy they apparently loved from the beginning. But I guess you wouldn't have a show. But,
right. Again, that's why I said it reminds me of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's the school, a great show, but you have the school, the dark, horror elements to it, but with the comedy going as well. So
I'm in for it. Halloween season. I mean, this is what we need.
How many great Halloween things we got coming up?
We have a lot. Hocus Pocus 2. I've heard great word of mouth on. I had a couple test screenings. That should be good. I think Disney has been doing a great job on delivering at nostalgia bait Disney Plus films. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers was really funny. It had no right to be that good, but it was.
I was mad about Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Explain.
I thought we were gonna actually have some like naked, Chip and Dale dances up there.
Some furry stuff. Yeah.
Some furry stuff.
All right, what's next? The greatest beer run ever. This is a movie I've been kind of interested in. This is the one half of the Farrelly brothers. Did Green Book, won the Oscar. Some people are mixed on Green Book. Some people are really mad that it won Best Picture. I enjoyed the film. I don't think it was the best movie of the year, by all means. It clearly won because I call it the Forrest Gump effect, where it's the movie that year is the most feel-good movie, so of course it's going to win. The Oscars love picking the one like Coda, whatever ones that's going to hit you in the feels. Green Book did. It's very melodramatic and it's funny, but I like Green Book. And this is the follow-up film. Zac Efron plays a Chicky Donahue, based on a true story, who brings his friends in Vietnam a couple cans of beer. And Russell Crowe is in it, Bill Murray. What did you think of the trailer, Gabe?
I thought the trailer was good, but as Zac Efron's stunt double, man, we had so much fun being down in down in Vietnam. Those action sequences were just amazing. The shoot. I was a little bit scared when the bombs were going off like near me, but since I had to be Efron's stunt double, I just had to be in there.
He's one of those guys that I always hope every year gets like that one role that just shoots him into the stratosphere, because he's always done a good job in things. It just seems like he can't get the right script in his hand. He was great as Ted Bundy, but it was a movie where I don't think used him to his fullest strength.
Right. And do you want to be the guy that shoots off to like that extra stratosphere of super level, superstar level
Yeah.
based off Ted Bundy. No, what I really want for Zac Efron, and what I really thought his career trajectory was going to be was, teenage heartthrob, High School Musical, sort of like Leonardo DiCaprio with Titanic. And then as Leo progressed, as he got older, he got meatier and meatier, juicier roles. And I thought Zac Efron was going to take on like that sort of, career, but he's stagnated. He's like sort of like he hasn't done like the level of work. And I'm not saying Zac Efron is as good of an actor as Leo, but I thought since they both started off as like teenage heartthrobs, Zac hasn't been able to take that next step into his career. He's done very well for him as far as his career is, but he's missing some things.
Well, let's not forget Baywatch. Baywatch should have been a huge hit. Baywatch was seen as a failure as well. That was supposed to be a movie that's supposed to be like 21 Jump Street. Come in, make a shit ton of money, bank off the chemistry of The Rock and Zac Efron, who did have good chemistry in that movie. I just don't think the jokes were up to snuff with what their performances were. But yeah, he's kind of been a tale of really good, but he hasn't been in very good things. Just like
Firestarter.
Okay, Firestarter, which he was, again, somebody who kind of steals the show in that one. You're very interested in what he does, but the material just isn't there. He can't elevate it enough.
He needs a franchise. Somebody needs a franchise him.
I mean, or he could take the route. Look at Channing Tatum. Everybody saw it. I saw so many things where people said Channing Tatum's the worst actor in Hollywood. And then, quietly, we got to admit, the dude works with people, some of the greatest directors working today. Quentin Tarantino, Steven Soderbergh, the Coen brothers. He just picks and chooses who wants to work with me that's like really great. Like, who are the best directors, and I want to work with those guys.
And you're right. Channing Tatum started off as, I'm not going to say as a joke, but it was like, oh, it's Channing Tatum and another, and Honey or whatever it was.
Fucking Step Up, yeah.
Yeah, Step Up. Well, one of those dance movies, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's in this like chick flick, The Vow, and then he's another chick flick, and all right,
Dear
cool.
John, and yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, he's in Logan Lucky. Wait, he's in, whatever, Magic Mike.
21 Jump Street, Magic Mike. And it's
and it's like, okay. So then you like respect his career. Like you could say whatever you say about Channing Tatum. His acting's obviously gotten a lot better. But his career is also, I would say at this point, better than Zac Efron's, just just on the people that he's worked with.
And he's one of those guys I keep telling people, Channing Tatum quietly puts butts in seats. White House Down aside, because that was a year where we had two movies about terrorists taking over the White House, and both of them didn't do all that great. I think Olympus Had Fallen did a little bit better just because the budget was smaller. But Channing Tatum this year alone, Dog was a quiet sleeper hit. It made almost, I believe, $100 million. And it was a critical success. And we also had The Lost City, which I believe is going to get a sequel as well. And people really dug that one. So
I really dug that one. It's one of my, if it wasn't for Marry Me, I would say, The Lost City would have been my favorite romantic comedy of the year so far.
It's a fun film, and he carries a great presence. And I hope the same happens for Zac Efron. It's a good trailer. It's a good trailer, but it's one of the things where I'm like, okay, the Farrellys, Peter Farrelly's involved. Green Book I like. I think the story is kind of funny and interesting, but I really hope this is the movie that kind of pushes him into the stratosphere now, because it's a little too late.
Could I just say I just want another Farrelly Brothers comedy, like, Stuck on You, Kingpin.
Great film.
What, Stuck on You?
Stuck on You is underrated.
I thought I was the only one that really loved Stuck on You.
Oh, it's great. Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal. I want another guy. Like, why can we have a Farrelly's like Brothers reunion movie?
I think we could totally do it, and I feel like it's a genre that's kind of died out a little bit. That sort of screwball comedy.
The Apatow. The Apatow killed the Farrellys in those mid 2000s when Apatow took over.
It couldn't sustain itself.
The Apatows, couldn't sustain itself.
Once those guys moved on, that was it. All right, let's move on to the next thing. This is an interesting story. I had this in rumor mill, but then it got confirmed from the Hollywood Reporter. So this is a Ocean's. Nobody knows what this is. Apparently, it's an original story set in the Ocean's 11 universe, 1960s Europe, directed by Jay Roach. Margot Robbie is attached. Ryan Gosling is in talks to co-star.
Again?
Excuse me. I guess they're teaming up again. They must love working with each other. So I'm a little confused by this. I thought they would have just made a sequel to the Sandra Bullock one. It tied into the actual other movies in the franchise.
Right,
And
because
they
Sandra
kind of,
was like her brother. Sandra's character was a brother for Danny Ocean.
yeah, she was Debbie Ocean, he was Danny, and they hinted that he was still alive, and they'll probably explore that in more movies. And you had some of the cast members from the old crew show up in cameos. And I thought it was pleasant. I don't think it was great, but I enjoy her and enjoyed the girls that were in that. And I think they could have done something really cool for a sequel. But I like these guys. I like Margot. I like Ryan a whole bunch. I'm excited. We're excited for Barbie. I don't know how I feel about this because if it doesn't have anybody involved from those prior movies, I don't know where that magic is going to be. Is it a prequel? Is it a prequel? Is he playing Danny Ocean? I don't know.
And even if it's a prequel, and I just watched all of the Oceans movie, I'm not a huge. Yeah, I have issues with heist movies, regardless. But as a fan, as a person that didn't watch the Oceans when they came out, and then I recently just saw them, from what I can remember, one of them they went to Europe, and it was a prequel. They went to Europe because he had done a job in Europe, and he was getting some information from one of his old,
Part two in Ocean's 12. They do, yeah.
yeah. So if it's a prequel, wouldn't they be in Europe? These two, Margot Robbie and I don't know.
Maybe they're playing the parents. Maybe they're playing Danny and Debbie's parents. That would make sense. I don't know. Jay Roach, he directed Meet the Parents and he directed Austin Powers, but he's directed some stingers too. So he's kind of the wild card and all that.
Right. No, I don't know. I think the entire movie is a wild card. I don't know if Oceans needs another sequel, prequel.
I'm only interested if it's actually the actual old crew. If it's George Clooney, if it's Brad Pitt, if it's those guys that have charm, no matter what. I love Ryan Gosling, love Margot Robbie. I don't know if I'm excited about this. And I love those movies. It just seems like an idea because they're popular right now. Let's attach them to something that we have.
Right.
Zatlov, this was one of his ideas that he put forward that you hate the guy.
There's so many stuff about him, and which we'll go down in the rumorville because none of this is like really confirmed. Because I was, as you look things up and put in the show notes, I also look up. Which is funny is you look at stuff that's confirmed. I look at stuff that's just wildly out there rumors. I'm like the conspiracy theorist between the two of us. And so there's like a whole bunch of stuff that I was reading about fucking Zatlov, and I'm like, really hate it.
We'll get into him. Okay. Insidious 5 set photo confirming filming. Patrick Wilson is directing. Old cast is returning. We love Insidious.
We do love Insidious. I think we love Patrick Wilson even more. The Scream King.
Scream King. It's pretty exciting. He wanted to make this his directorial debut, and he's a really good actor. He could have just done anything. He could have done a drama, but he's like, no, I want to direct Insidious. I love these movies. I want to direct that. So I think it's cool.
It's great. It's great when an actor who like starts off, and I forget how he started off, but horror has been his bread and butter, right? And he hasn't shied away from horror. It's not like, all these other actors that like start off in horror and then be like, oh, I never did that movie, or oh, it's a cringy movie for me. No, this guy's embraced his his horror roots in a sense, and he wants more horror. I'm glad for it.
Yeah. Well, this is a major yes for us from Step Photo. Nothing to really base it off of, besides we know Ty Simpkin is back. He's going to play his character going to college, and the family is back as well. So, pretty cool. Set Photos. We had a trailer for this a while back. Midnight Club, Mike Flanagan. This is based off a series of books. But based off the photos and the teaser that I saw, I'm pretty excited for this. I don't know much about it. I thought Midnight Mass was incredibly disturbing and unsettling. So
told you.
I'm in for it. Yeah, you watched it first, and you were telling Victoria and I, we loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's Flanagan, so we're definitely gonna watch it. Keep our eyes open for it, and we'll see how it turns out. I mean, Netflix is really pumping out their horror.
They really are, aren't they? like that's something that I've noticed between this and Daybreak and The Addams Family, and there's another one coming up right here.
The Munsters.
The Munsters Can't forget that. Your most anticipated movie. Guillermo del Toro, Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah.
New show, anthology, practical effects, practical monsters, big name directors, all directing. What do you think? And Guillermo will host the show.
Come on, you had me at Guillermo. You don't need to tell me anything. You tell me Guillermo, and I'm like, all right, well, it's a must watch.
And we also have some pretty cool actors in this too. Eric Andre is going to be the star in one of these from, I believe, the director of Mandy. Yeah, so like, I mean, this trailer was so cool. I mean, he's talking about all these stories, and you see them, and it's got this Tales from the Crypt vibe to it. But man, I think this looks very old school, and I like it. I like what I see.
It's very like Tales of the Crypt, Creepshow-esque.
Tales from the Dark Side, very 90s.
Right, very 90s. Tales from the Hood,
Yeah, so I'm there. This is something that I think we should cover.
But it's Netflix horror, right? I mean, when we talk about Netflix and people make fun of Netflix a lot, it's like horror. Like their horror original stuff is somewhat, it's lacking for a lot of people.
Everything we've been covering, man, these are all big name filmmakers, creators that are working with Netflix, because sometimes they just write that blank check and go, hey, go ahead and do whatever it is you want to do. Guillermo's that dude. You let him do whatever he wants to do. He handpicked a couple of really fantastic filmmakers. One of the filmmakers I'm really excited about is the filmmaker, David Pryor, who did The Empty Man, which is a movie I really enjoyed. Told you to check it out.
I enjoyed it.
It's kind of become this big thing. A lot of people are really discovering it and praising the heavens. He's doing a short in here too. 8 episodes, and I think it's over the course of 2 days. So it's going to be packed. It's going to be a lot of really cool content, man. And Netflix isn't playing when it comes to the Halloween season.
No.
All right, Zatlov. He's back. That's Bobby D. But Zatlov, we're going to talk about. So Zatlov has pretty much approved this project. And that is a new gangster movie called Wise Guys. This is written by Nicholas Pileggi, who wrote the book that Goodfellas was based on called Wise Guy. He doesn't have that much room for creativity when it comes to titles, I guess. But De Niro will play 2 roles in this, and it will be directed by Barry Levinson. Half of the guys in this movie involved in this are like 80 plus. And the reason why this was greenlit is because Zatlov is really good friends with Nicholas Pileggi and his wife. So decided to greenlight the movie. They're golfing buddies. That's really it. It's the whole reason this movie is being made. I love De Niro. I don't know what I think of this movie. Barry Levinson hasn't really directed anything worthwhile since the 90s. So, like, I am kind of, like, this is kind of a no-go for me, man.
It's no-go for me. I mean, you said it yourself a couple of weeks ago, right? This guy, Zatlov, had mentioned, he came in and he was like, oh, this is show business, not show friends. And all of a sudden he's greenland this because he golfs with some people.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking horrible. I love De Niro, right?
Everybody, yeah.
He Goodfellas, meet the parents, Analyze this. His career spans on and on and on and on, right? Just small hits, right? But I think he needs to retire.
Irishman was his swan song. You would think that now that
I thought that would be the last Scorsese movie that he does. They bring in Joe Pesci with him. Like, all right, cool. Let's let it go. Like, he's like that uncle that doesn't want to leave the party yet, and it's like fucking 4 a.m. and he still has a Modelo in his hand. Like, yo, you gotta go. And he's like talking like, let's bring more carne asada. I'm like, dude, it's 4 a.m. You gotta go, Theo. Gotta go. That's who he is right now. It's like, listen, I get it. You're great, but you need to stop. Like, some of his last roles that he's done, you're just like
grandpa comedies.
Right, grandpa. And then you can bring in 80-plus-year-old actors. What is this, like the geriatric mob? Like, come on. Oh, like, what are they fucking going to war for? Their heart medication? Oh, my cholesterol's too high. They gotta think, like, come on now.
We forgot to play the hot take. This was a hot take. We forgot to play it.
Wait, but it wasn't going to be a hot take. It wasn't going to be a hot take. I'm just saying, it's like, listen, I love these guys, right? I love them in their heyday, and I still think fondly about them, but it comes to a point where they sort of ruin their filmography in the sense because towards like their tail end. It's like, an old Michael Jordan playing with the Wizards. Yeah, it's Michael Jordan, but he's on the
That's
Wizards.
the Michael Jordan I remember as a kid. Because that was my era, was watching him play the Wizards. Okay, Blake, what's up, man? How's it going? Orphan. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. But
Yes.
thank you for joining us, man. We'll move on from De Niro and Zatlov, but I'm not excited for that. It's a theatrical release. He wants all theatrical release movies, so he gets what he wants. Apparently, he also canceled over like 200 episodes of Sesame Street. He said, "Fuck those kids." So this
Fuck
dude
them kids.
he sucks. Here's some good news for the soul, but
Yeah.
kind of confusing. And so Jerry Bruckheimer, big name action producer, he claims that National Treasure 3 is written, and they are getting the script to Nicolas Cage, who we know 100% wants to come back to the role. Now, this would probably be insane. This would be the biggest film of the Nicolas Cage comeback. He's been in a bunch of great big movies. He's been in,
Yes.
I mean, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was so much fun. We saw that. We had a blast with it, and he was the key to that movie. Like, he was slapstick and funny. His chemistry was great. They're also doing a show on Disney Plus, so I don't know what this means or what, because I know they made an effort to not have him in that show, but now apparently they have a script for the third film. He wants to do it. The script is in his hands now. Jerry
Disney
Bruckheimer
wants to do
says.
it.
So, and those movies were successes. People like those movies. Those are very much dad movies. Old men love the National Treasure films. So I think this is cool. I'm
It's
excited for
true.
anything Nick Cage, So what do you think? Are we getting this? Is this happening?
Oh, I hope so. God, I hope so. I thought this movie needed a trilogy a long time ago. I mean, you have him signing the Declaration of Independence and then going into the freaking Mount Rushmore. And it's just an awesome, basically amazing scavenger hunt type movies, which, are great. Especially now with, escape rooms being so popular. Are they still popular? I don't know. But I know escape rooms were popular for a while. It's sort of like an escape room. Like you got to go in, figure things out. You know, it's like you and your Indiana Jones. You know what I'm saying? You know how you love those Indiana Jones movies so much.
I do.
It's like Indiana Jones, but with Nick Cage, so it's better.
I wouldn't say that. All right. Kenya Barris, Blackish creator. He's created a bunch of things lately. He did that Netflix show, but I think it got canceled with Rashida Jones. He's writing and directing a modern reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. This is a bizarre pairing, but I know WB is getting involved with a lot of MGM stuff coming up. Interesting.
Zatlaf.
Interesting. I don't know. Zatlov, this is definitely one of his decisions. He loves old school Hollywood. He loves franchises. The Wizard of Oz is a franchise. You could bank on this. You could bank on the Wizard. There's so money. Those
Could
books
you
are,
though?
dude.
Could you?
Books there. I mean,
But,
I don't know
but,
how I feel about this, but I mean, it's
think about it, right? They also did somebody did what is it, the reboot of Annie
right
with Jamie
Sony.
Foxx,
Yeah,
Sony, right? And didn't do well. It bombed. Like, stop trying to reimagine things to modern times from like the 1930s.
I
Like,
will say though, Oz the Great and Powerful didn't break records or anything, but it cleaned up nicely in its release window. When Disney, because Wizard of Oz is public domain, Disney put out their version. Sam Raimi, I think it made like 400, 500 mil. Not bad. I mean, if Warner Brothers is going to come out the gate and go totally nostalgic with it, we'll see. Or is it going to be like The Wiz? Don't know. Bizarre pairing. I haven't seen anything from Kenya besides Blackish that has been successful.
I don't think I need to see this Wizard of Oz reimagining.
Oh, we're going to see it.
We're not.
Here's another nostalgia bait. Oh, shit. Look, it's Adrian. Ferris Bueller's Day Off spinoff. I mean, part of this I'm a little excited about because the creators of Cobra Kai are involved. But Paramount Pictures has greenlit the spinoff of the 1986 film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, titled Sam and Victor's Day Off. The spinoff comes from Netflix hit Cobra Kai creators John Hurwitz and Josh Harald. And yeah, I guess they're writing it now, and the film's going to follow the previously unnamed valets from the original film, and obviously they're the guys that take Cameron's dad's car for a spin. So
So what are we spinning off like the valet guys now?
this is their, I guess, yeah, it's 1980s, and we're spinning off their adventure where they go with that car for whatever time frame they have. Is this movie going to take place in the span of 2 hours, or
Oh God.
is it going to be like a movie? I mean, in real time, I guess. In their case,
I'm gonna be. They're making me be one of these people that like just gonna say no to a lot of things because I'm not that person. I'm always all for reboots and reimaginings and all this stuff. But the part of the charm of Ferris Bueller was, um, what's his face is Matthew Broderick's,
yeah.
his magic. It was Cameron's. I forget Alan Ruck. His the way that he played Cameron, like they just had magic together, and that's what really took Ferris Bueller off. Plus the writing of John Hughes. If you're not going to have John Hughes, obviously who passed away, right? R.I.P. Or you're not going to have Matthew Broderick or Cameron, Alan Ruck in some way, shape, or form in this. Who's really going to see it? Like who really is clamoring for the valet's point of view of their day off?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like if you said, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna have Ferris's kid, his daughter, and Cameron's son go off on their own adventure, and we're gonna freaking reboot it this way, and we're gonna do this type of reimagining." Cool, I'm in. Yes, let's see their kids. You could still see Matthew Broderick as a parent. You could see Cameron as a parent. Maybe Matthew married Sloane. Who knows, right? But you're gonna see it that way. Who wants to see the valet guys? Like I'd rather see like the kids.
I don't think there's an audience for this. I don't know. It must be a hell of a script. It must be really funny. The Cobra Kai creators, I mean, those guys kind of have they're one of those guys that have a blank check right now.
Right.
They got a hit show. It's great, and everybody's waiting to see what they do next.
And I guess that's why they didn't want to go the kids route, because they went the kids route with Cobra Kai. So I get it, but
and they've also written some pretty cool comedies. I mean, the Hot Tub Time Machine being one of them. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I don't think it's a good idea. It seems like one of those films that just isn't going to be made. But hey, the Hollywood Reporter and Deadline are all confirming it's happening, so I guess it is. But yeah, thumbs down for me. I'm not sure I'm all for it. This is weird. It's just weird. All right, next order of business. House of Dragons, Gabe. What's the excitement level? What are you anticipating for tomorrow?
Man, my excitement level is like at an 11, 12 out of 10 on this. I'm so excited to watch this tomorrow. I think it comes out at midnight tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So I may wake up at like 4 a.m. and start watching House of the Dragons.
Yeah, I'm excited. Reviews are out now. I think sitting around at 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is, again, good reviews, good word of mouth. I don't know what to expect from this yet, but we have this coming out. I know the Jon Snow spinoff is coming out, but this is the first order of business, and I think this prequel makes sense. We heard so much about this storyline in passing.
Right.
Now we get to see it play out.
We get to see the Mad King play out, how it all went downhill for the Targaryens, how she got out of, King's Landing, Daenerys did as a kid, and, was off. How she, it's just great to see the Targaryens back in power, see how they ruled Westeros. So I'm excited for it.
I'm excited. We get to be back in Westeros, back in this world. We know the acting is going to be outrageously good. I'm excited to see new characters that hopefully we fall in love with. Fingers crossed that this is like something that just hits. Like, you know, Breaking Bad has Better Call Saul. I really hope this is Game of Thrones Better Call Saul.
Right.
Where it's equally as good.
And people were talking about like, oh, because I saw some comments. I was like, oh, how come Emilia Clarke isn't it? And I'm like, well, it takes place as a kid. When Game of Thrones started off, she was already like, what, 15, 16, 17, whatever. She was of like legal age to be married, or I don't know if legal, but she was of age to get married for those times. Like this takes place way before then, when her father was still the king.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know where the story is gonna. Obviously, we know where it's gonna go. But
we're doing a Sunday night show.
Oh, we could talk about it. I think it would be a great idea. I'd love to do after show, give our first thoughts. We'll talk further. We'll see if anybody's interested in it. Anybody that's going to watch House of the Dragons, if they're interested in seeing us talk about that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to be watching it. I'm sure me and you will talk about it, and we'll make sure either way to give our thoughts on here. All right. She-Hulk. Did you check it out?
I did check it out. I saw the first episode. I was a little bit sad I didn't have. Usually Disney gives you like 2 or 3 episodes to start off, and I only got one. I was like, all right, cool.
I was shocked by that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. I love her as the character. I thought she was great, and I thought she brought I saw so many complaints about the CGI in the show. It didn't bother me. I could have seen those complaints in the trailers, but the show was fine.
The show was fine. I saw it a little bit. Like her green coloring was off to, Bruce Banner's, and like I don't know why. So, but I feel like they sort of know how to handle Bruce's Green Hulk. Her greeniness didn't. I don't know. Came across bad, and sometimes. But other than that, I mean, it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I like how they kind of speed ran through the origin story within this 30-minute time frame.
Right. She's shorter. I thought she was going to be like the same height, but she's shorter than Bruce.
She's shorter. And they have some great banter, a little bit of callbacks to the other movies, a great joke about Captain America that made me laugh. I enjoyed that, which is so weird that like Kevin Feige and them had to confirm this. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it. I don't know. I guess it's Steve Rogers being a virgin. In the show, they have a great bit about that.
Now the question is, would you a 6'7" She-Hulk?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you saw in the trailer she's cradling that dude, so I think most men would. But no, I thought this is off to a solid start. This seems to be
solid.
One of those things where people do this crazy new thing on the internet now, and I keep seeing it. And I've talked to multiple people. I mean, I mentioned it to Cody Leach because he was talking about this, and I know Lee has mentioned this, where you cannot just like something. You have to absolutely hate it or absolutely love it. And it's so weird that talking about films is in this space where it's an art form and you have to choose a side. It's a culture war where it's just like, if you love it, you hate men. And if you hate it, you hate women. So it's bizarre and it's weird. I can't speak to that. If you are somebody that can't take politics out of your mindset when you're watching entertainment, I don't know. But for me personally, I love the character in the comic books. I like most Marvel things, and I thought this was pretty pleasant. The editing at the end was strange. That final fight in the courtroom was a little off to me, and I know they said they cut a lot of things for time and not being able to finish some VFX, so it's fine. I'll give that a pass, but for the most part, 90% of this episode I really thoroughly enjoyed and had a solid element. So.
And listen, just to piggyback off what you said, you guys are absolutely right. In this culture that we're in now, it's a full-on lover hate. There's no gray area in this anymore. It's either black or white. And what I hope for people to get mostly out of our show is that it's okay to like things. It's okay to like be like, you know what? I only like this aspect. The rest of it, I hate it. I didn't like, but I like this, and it's an okay show. It's like, it's okay to like things. It's okay to go in there with some expectations and then come out of it and be like, it was fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was fine. And I think that's how you and me, for the most part, watch movies. It's very rare that we come on here and say, I absolutely hated it. And if anybody like that watches our show knows, it's we come on here and we're like, it's fine. It was okay. We didn't love it, but it's fine. It's okay. It's watchable. And that's usually what you want in your visual media is some sort of, it's fine. It's okay. I don't know.
I think, and again, go back to what you said. I think there's like maybe 2 times I've said I've hated something. And to me, it's when you could tell the filmmakers do not have the right intentions in mind. For me, it was Morbius. I hated that movie. I don't hate many things. I hated Morbius so bad.
See, I liked Morbius.
You did not like Morbius. Do not sit here. No, but I really disliked that movie. And I wanted so hard to come in there and at least walk out going, it wasn't that bad. And the first 5 minutes, I would say, weren't that bad. But then after that, the movie just completely dug itself a hole. to where I had to walk out the room because I was so angry at what I was watching, and I
You
couldn't.
did walk out. You did walk out.
I walked out for a solid 5 minutes, came back in, and it was worse. It was worse. I was sitting there fidgeting because I couldn't believe how bad it was.
You were.
But with most things, I try to give it the benefit of the doubt, and especially there's certain films where I kind of analyze it in a different way. But with Marvel movies, I go back to I know it's a formula, and are they going to deliver on the formula? And if they do something new and unique, I'll enjoy that too. I like the courtroom comedy aspect of this. I think the cameos are going to be a lot of fun. I know that it's kind of a goofy, lighthearted, female-driven comedy, but the trailers told you that. The trailers told you that going in, and it's either going to be your thing or it's not.
It's like Ally McBeal, but with a Hulk.
Yeah, it's Ally McBeal with superpowers. That's
Yeah.
literally what this is. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm excited for next week. I think I like this a little bit more than Miss Marvel, which I enjoyed, but I think I wasn't the main demographic for that. I think some people loved it more than I did.
You already know my feelings. I liked it, but it wasn't my cup of tea for Miss Marvel either. It wasn't.
Yeah, and I dug that character. I just don't think it was one of my favorites so far.
Right. Same with Moonlight. I thought it was good. I never finished the series. I watched like the first couple of episodes, but then that was just about it. I liked it, but not. That's what we say, right? You like something, you don't hate it, but I liked it enough to watch 2 episodes, but I didn't like it enough to finish it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Oh, and look, Blake feels that same sentiment. And like, I agree, man. That ending kind of made me roll my eyes at how cheap it was. I agree with you on that. It's true, and I think it has to do, again, VFX, time constraints, whatever it is. No excuse, but I know they said they talked.
I don't know why they would say time constraints. You're on streaming, like you could put on a freaking episode for 2 hours or put it on for like 15 minutes.
Well, the VFX guys, remember we talked about this. Marvel like rushes them to get the work done, and they said that they do not have enough time because of the deadlines Marvel gives them. It's just way too tight. They don't even know the deadlines until they're announced.
Listen, like it's like I watched the Groot thing. You gave me 4 shorts, like 3 minutes long. The opening sequence, the opening credits, and the ending credits were longer than the I Am Groot like little.
I believe that. All right, let's see what's next. I mean, honestly, it's really just this. Orphan II dropped on Paramount Plus and in theaters. You could see it in select theaters this weekend. I believe rented as well, but it's on Paramount Plus. That's how I watched it, and I assume that's how Gabe watched it too.
No, I gave them my money. I rented it.
Oh, you rented it?
No, I'm just kidding. Of course I did the Paramount Plus.
So Orphan 2, for those of you that haven't seen the first Orphan, it's about a woman with some kind of, I don't know, she's a fucking dwarf. She looks like she's 11, but she's 30, and she infiltrates this family, Via Farmiga's family, and pretends to be their daughter to get close to them, and she's up to some sinister shit. The film was well received, and it cleaned up pretty decently at the box office back in 2008. I liked it. I thought it was one of the last sort of big studio thrillers that we really got of that kind. And we heard talks of a sequel for a very long time. Every year I kept hearing Orphan 2's coming. Orphan 2's coming. The actress that plays Esther, really great actress. She got older since that time frame. I believe she's around my age, about 25, 26.
She grew up, obviously. She was no longer, 4'9".
She's no longer 4 foot, whatever this character is supposed to be. And what makes it tough is that they made this a prequel. This is a prequel. Julia Stiles is back in movies. I haven't seen her in a while. She jumps in a couple of supporting roles, but she's back in a big role in this, and we'll get into Julia Stiles. But this is a movie that I think had the odds against it. I know we talked about the trailer on this show. From what I remember, I didn't really like the trailer. I thought it looked bland, and it just looked.
You did that, and you said that you didn't like the de-aging that they gave on Esther.
I did not like the makeup effects. I thought it was an odd choice to go practical. It's cool that they went practical, but I thought it was odd considering the age gap and how it's a prequel. So we went into this, and I thought I was going to get something cliche and bland and just very serviceable, and I would have came on here and been like, yeah, that's exactly what I expected. But before I give my thoughts, Gabe, what are yours?
All right, so I'm going to preface this by saying that for the longest, I thought I watched this movie, and about a month or two, not the new one, the Orphan, and about a month or two, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna rewatch this because I haven't seen it in so long, and I put it on, and I realized that my dumbass got this movie confused with The Orphanage that came around the same time
The Spanish
period, the Spanish one. For some reason, I thought they were all like together, and I was like, I've seen this before. Apparently, I've never seen The Orphan until like a month or two ago. It's the same thing that happened with Psycho 2005. I thought I'd seen it, and apparently I didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
So I had fun with The Orphan. So this one, God, I don't want to give any spoilers away, so I'll just say this: is Julia Stiles is magical in this. Like she blew me away with her performance in this. Um, like I've said, it's she did a phenomenal job. There's a twist that I obviously did not see coming, and I don't care who you are, you probably didn't see it coming either if you watched it, or maybe you did. Maybe you're smarter than me, but I liked it. And I think I liked it just based off Julia Stiles' performance because like I said, she did something great with her role.
I will say this: the first movie, great acting, great acting. That first one, there's some really well-known faces in there. It's got that a little bit of prestige to it because it's got big studio backing from Warner Brothers. So, like, this is a higher budget film. It was in theaters. It looks great. It looks modern. Um, Something I enjoyed about this that worked totally in its favor, which I noticed within the first few minutes of this movie, was that it just embraces how goofy this premise is. The first one plays it totally serious and totally straight.
Right.
This sequel is cheesy and it's ham-fisted, and it knows how ridiculous things are, and it just plays into that. And something I thought that was very interesting was it gives you absolutely nobody to root for. Which
No.
in the first movie, you have a family to root for. You know what's in danger here. In this movie, it sort of rides that line, and I was kind of impressed with the direction and the camera work to make Isabel Furman look smaller. There's a great sequence. This isn't a spoiler. It's in the opening of the movie, where it's this one take of her escape from the asylum. This is a really broke ass asylum, by the way. They don't even have fucking like maids or anything. It's like a bunch of crazy people with mops. So
You've obviously never been in jail, man. That's you when you're in jail, they give you a job to do.
that's a mental institution. You got to have government funding for that.
That still is a jail.
That's
You still gotta give the mental patient something to
Have
do.
you been
So
in jail?
yes,
When?
like
You
8
have not
years
been
ago.
no, you have not been in jail.
I've been in jail. I've been in jail twice.
Anyway, so
Now,
yeah,
hold on. I'll just say this. It wasn't because I killed somebody or stole something. It was because I was caught driving on a suspended license one time. Then the second time, I got caught driving under a suspended license and revoked license plates. So, they put you in jail.
you get your hair
Huh?
braided in there?
No, I didn't get my hair braided. I wasn't in jail long enough to get a job. It was like 2 hour stints.
So we have this escape sequence where it looks like a long take, but every time they push in to her back, they switch out the actress with a child, and it's a really cool thing what they do. There's a lot of creative directorial techniques implemented in here,
Right.
practically to make her seem like a child. So at the beginning, it is ridiculous because clearly she's a 25-year-old face, and it's kind of like fucking that movie Clifford with Martin Sheen, or not Martin Sheen, Martin Short.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Clifford movie with the big red dog.
Oh no, not that one. Have you seen Clifford?
I did.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, wait, the one with the big red dog?
No, I'm talking about Clifford. Have you not seen this movie?
Probably
Oh,
not.
this has got to be in the next movie roast.
The only Clifford I've seen is the one that came out to Paramount Plus earlier last year.
There's a creepy ass movie called Clifford. It's with Charles Grodin, one of my favorite actors. I love him. Midnight Run. he plays this guy who takes in his nephew and he's watching him for like the summer or some shit, if I remember correctly. Mary Steenburgen plays his wife, and they bring him his nephew to watch. And this dude is like a shit disturber, and he's like a Dennis the Menace. But the catch is it's played by Martin Short. So it's a fucking child with Martin Short's face superimposed on his body. And it's really bad 90s superimposed.
Oh, you're talking about Little Man.
No, it's Little Man before Little Man. But that was something I was afraid of with this. It was the whole Little Man Clifford situation. But I think you sort of forget about that because her performance is very good and she plays into the element that you think about. And man, the story was just getting fucking crazier and crazier by the minute. And I found myself having a great time. And I was like, you know what? Like, they swung for the fences. They didn't have the money like the first one did.
And you know what? They had to swing for the fences, right? Because they already told you in the last movie that Esther was a 33-year-old woman in a child's body. So with this movie, you go in, you already know this. You already know that Esther's already. So they had to swing for the fences. They had to go big on this. And I think they hit it out of the park. As far as, I don't think it's a theatrical movie. I think it's right at home with streaming.
Correct.
But it hits, and I think it hits really good. I think, like you said, everybody who acted in this does a really good job. Besides Julia Stiles, who does it phenomenally.
Yeah, everybody in here is not many recognizable faces, but except the main two, Julia Stiles and Isabel Fuhrman. And they do a great job. They have great chemistry. And what I love about Esther in this is that she's kind of like trying to figure out her character. And like this scheme that she has, she doesn't quite know how to do it yet. And she's like working on it and fine-tuning it throughout the movie. So again, the direction in this, the cinematography and the cast really elevate that script. Because I don't think it's a well-written film. I think there's just a lot of coincidences. The dialogue is very stilted. But man, everybody on board kind of elevates the material and makes it better.
Makes it
that's
fun.
all you can ask. It makes it fun. That's all you can ask for. So I honestly, and I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was. I enjoyed the first one, and I still think the first movie is a way better film. But I will say I had a lot of like crazy batshit fun watching this because it's just wild and it gets crazier by the minute as you're watching it. So
right.
I'm with you. I enjoyed this. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think
we don't want to spoil it since it came out, yesterday. We don't want to spoil this, and there is some cool stuff in it. So
yeah, so
it's definitely worth a watch.
Thumbs up, then. All right, we give the Siskel and Ebert thumbs up on it. Orphan, First Kill, on Paramount Plus if you have that, or theaters, I guess, if you think it's worth the trip,
or give them some money on rental.
Or do the VOD rental. I think it's on there too. All right, Gabe, we've come to the end of the show. Kind of a quick episode.
Is it the end, though?
It's the end. It's the end. I think
is it? Everything.
Oh, we forgot to cover this. New releases. Orphan, First Kill, and Beast. What are you seeing this week? You seen Beast?
No, I'm going to wait for that to come out on streaming. I get a lot of... God, I was getting vibes. I forget the name of the movie. I think I told you. It gives me a lot of like the other Lion Eden movie with Brad Pitt in the 90s. Ghost in the Darkness. I get Ghost in the Darkness vibes from Beast. So I'm gonna wait.
All right. I think I'm gonna check it out. I think we might go see it tomorrow. I don't think there'll be a review, but I'll give my thoughts either way at some point, whether it's on the show or maybe Tuesday. Tuesday, by the way.
Tuesday
show is going to be Turtle Power. It's going to be a little bit of rewind here. Most of the Tuesday show, guys, is going to be a lot of things from the past, whether it's bad movies, good movies, anything we want to talk about that we normally don't cover on the very modern main show. So we're going to be covering the first 3 Ninja Turtles films, a couple of the specials, the animated show, just our overall thoughts, and we'll have a special guest, Leo Perez from the Broken Reality podcast on there too. So
yes,
it's going to be very exciting. And look at, we got the best turtle films on there. We got Turtles 3.
Did you put Ralph on that? Like, is Ralph your favorite turtle? Are you a Ralph guy?
He is my favorite. He is
Oh
my
my
favorite.
God.
He's my favorite. He's a hothead, and he
It,
cursed.
it makes it makes a lot of sense. Ralph being your favorite turtle makes a lot of sense.
He's cool. Look at him. God, part 3 is some bad puppets. But yeah, that's going to be the Tuesday show, and let's not forget, in a couple weeks, my favorite horror movie is going to start. So, guys, spread the word. Tune back in here. We have, I believe, Leo's actually going to be the first guest on that too, September 6th. And then Cody Leach. And then we're going to have a couple episodes where it's me, Gabe, and Victoria in between covering our favorite movies. Then we'll have Good Real Hunting on there. I believe Destiny from the Final Ghouls and Fear Freaks, Bloodbath and Beyond.
Yes.
Really excited to do a collab with them. That's going to be really exciting. So stay on the lookout for that. We have the Tuesday show. Thursday show is back. So don't count any Saturday content. But and then
who knows? Maybe we'll do it every day. If people want us, we'll do an everyday show.
It's possible. It's possible.
No.
I got nothing else to add though, Gabe. Anything else you want to add before we start wrapping up?
Yeah, actually, on my personal side, as you may well know, I've been I'm toying with the idea, and probably it's going to happen for Hispanic Heritage Month. Every day I will release a movie on my Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. I will release a Hispanic movie that made culture, not a Hispanic movie that you should watch, basically. Whether it be Blood In, Blood Out, Mi Familia, whatever the case may be, I'm going to be doing that as the every month for the to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. So if you guys want to come celebrate with me, I'll be doing that. If any movies in mind, just let me know. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing as well.
It's just going to be the pest every day of the month.
Listen, John Leguizamo, Johnny Legs is going to be in a lot of these movies because Johnny Legs is our quintessential Latino actor. So
that's yours. That's your quintessential Latino actor.
It's everybody, isn't it? Every Hispanic's quintessential Latino actor. Like if a movie producer's like, we need a Latino in this, who can we get? It's like, let's get Johnny Legs.
No, it's that fucking dude who plays Hector in every movie. I forget his name.
That's if you want a quintessential Mexican gangbanger.
You get a cholo. You get him. Yeah.
You get him. If you just want your standard, Hispanic actor that could play like a white looking type guy, you get Johnny Legs.
All right, so Gabe's got that, and I know you post your TikTok reviews. You post a lot more on TikTok and Facebook and stuff, more than I do, more so lately. So,
yeah, because I do the soda reviews since I drink a lot of soda, just weird stuff, random stuff.
Yeah. So make sure you guys check out. We have all the links down below for TikTok as well. And I guess just really getting back into the groove with this show. I feel like it's been we've had a bit of a slow month. We've talked about this between July and August. It's been kind of a slowdown. We really just want to pick things back up. And I think my favorite horror movie is going to be that adrenaline punch.
Right. Just August is, the swan month. For some reason, fall has not come into August, and that needs to stop. As much as I love Halloween and fall and all that good stuff, because football season is back, damn, my camera keeps on falling over.
What are you putting it
on? But representing the Bears all day long in the fall. Listen, people need to stop clamoring for Spirit Halloween to open up in mid-August. And
people ask for it until July at this point.
Or pumpkin spice flavoring to come in at the end of July. No, let's stop. Let's celebrate each season as they come. Fall doesn't technically start till September 22nd. My birthday is September 8th. Stop trying to make my birthday a fall birthday. It's still a summer birthday. Let it be.
There you have it. Another hot take.
Hot take.
That's going to do it for us, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Then that'll do it. And we'll see you Tuesday when we cover
Turtle Power.
Turtle Power.
I hope you're eating pizza. Somebody get some pizza.
I'll make some pizza. We'll have some anchovies and whatever the hell the turtles eat.
No anchovies.
See ya.